that
Tennessee.
New York? You're the only 10 I see.
That was weird, bro. So my first influential song is going to be one that was influential for me and, you know, the music scene as a whole. And it's...
Welcome back to the pod, episode 51. We've had a little break in many ways. Festival season, a lot going on throughout the summer. The last episode we did was just after Leeds Fest, and we covered Leeds Fest a little bit. So I thought we'd stay on that music style theme. And today I wanted to go over some of the most influential songs of our lives, and maybe just some of the more influential songs in general, and why we think that. So shall I jump into the? Jump into the first song?
First. Come on.
Right, I'm going to keep it very on theme. I'm going to go with Blink-182, I Miss You.
Here we go. Yeah.
So I Miss You by Blink-182 is an absolute belter, right? And I found myself for the last few months at work, it's one of those songs that's proper gets stuck in my head. Do you know where I just keep going, where are you, all the time, and just singing the whole like Tom DeLonge verse of that song to the point where people are getting actually angry. But me and Tim went to see Blink the other day, a gig that I've waited literally my whole life for.
I've waited a very long time. The last time I saw them was the same time you saw them, which was at Leeds Arena, and
with
that was
Skibber?
with Skibber. Yeah,
Is it Skibber or Skiba?
Doesn't matter anymore.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Anyway, yeah. So I waited my whole life to see Blink. And I actually remember when I was like 14, watching, I think it was Reading Festival that was on BBC Three.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the Blink set and thinking, oh, one day I want to be at these festivals and stuff. And I've never had the opportunity to see him at a festival yet. But we got to see him the other day and it was amazing. And I Miss You is... I think it's a song that most people know. Everyone knows all the small things as well. But it's to the point where my friends had actually asked me to video just that, where are you? It's like Tom DeLonge's unbelievably punky voice. His voice epitomizes pop punk. And I just think that that little line and that song in general is one of the most influential songs in not only pop punk history, but my life as well.
I think that song is a great example of why Blink like flourishes when they've got all three members there, because somehow the coordination between the verses, and because Mark's got quite a monotone kind of, I want to say boring-esque voice, whereas Tom's is very energetic and all over the place, up and down. And somehow they can still seamlessly swap between verses and the voices just work so well together. Whereas when Skiba was in there, still worked, didn't
Too
quite...
similar.
Yeah. It was like two of the same singers where, you know, you need that Tom DeLonge to break up stuff
Him
a
and
little bit.
Mark had a very similar voice. And just as a side note as well, Blink announced the rest of their UK dates for next year that were meant to be on the current tour, but Travis Barker had a family emergency, had to go home. So they announced today, I think it was Glasgow, Dublin and Belfast.
Yeah.
But they happen to start the day after Reading and Leeds Festival. So I'd say it's pretty nailed on that Blink-182 are going to be one of the Reading and Leeds Fest headliners next year. So
I'd say it's almost certain at this point. The timing is way too close, and for them to reschedule it, they must already think, well, we're going to be in England then. You wouldn't just choose that time if you weren't already there.
By chance.
Yeah.
So the fact, it's like all my favourite bands, like just keep going to Reading and Leeds. 1975 twice in a row, and then Blink now.
Twice, wasn't it? 3 times. 3 times in 4 years.
3 times in 4 years. Yeah. I mean, who could ask for more? Hopefully it's them again next year with Blink.
Yeah.
I'd actually shed a tear.
Woo.
Anyway.
Well, I hope that they clash if they're both there. I genuinely do, yeah.
Who would I pick?
Blink.
Maybe not. Anyway.
Fuck off, no.
you need to pick your first song.
So my first influential song is going to be one that was influential for me and, you know, the music scene as a whole. And it's Runaway by Kanye West. Now, this song was one of the first songs that properly got me. This is what I was saying to you. Before we started recording this, I was saying to Joe, there'll be a lot of songs on these lists that are going to clash because we both got relatively similar music tastes. We kind of cross over on a lot of music tastes, and then we also both have our own edges of music taste that we don't listen to of the other person's. So this was bound to happen.
And I think especially because if we're going for the influential songs and the music, there's a little crossover there. So when we try to pick the most influential ones, there's going to be a big crossover.
Definitely, yeah. But with Runaway, it was the first track I heard by Kanye that kind of got me into Kanye. I'd heard Black Skinhead on Radio 1 when that was released? Because that was a massive tune that Radio 1 just absolutely adored.
Well, you must have heard other Kanye before.
Oh, I would have, yeah. I
Like
would have heard
Gold
other
Digger
ones, but
and-
there was none that kind of stuck in my head and went, oh, this is an ace tune. And then after I got into Kanye, after listening to, it was Runaway that, was the big song. I think it was The Night Before. I don't know if you've seen that movie before.
No.
And there's a scene where they go to, like, in Big, where they're going on the giant keyboard.
No, I've not seen Big either.
You not seen Big?
No.
What? Well, anyway, so those giant keyboards that they have in like superstores and that you can jump on and all that crap. Yeah. In The Night Before, they go to one of those and he starts stepping on it and he does Runaway. And when I heard that song on that film, I was like, oh my God, that's really fucking sick. Got into that, then started going down the Kanye hole, and like it's just everything that he does is amazing.
It's the best K-hole you can go down.
In terms of influentialness, I would argue that changed the hip hop and rap music scene quite dramatically when he dropped that.
I think it did, and I think it's. I mean, obviously you've got what's the Dre Snoop song with the iconic piano beat.
The final episode.
Like, but other than that, I think Runaway
That's great.
probably has the most iconic piano part of a hip hop song. There'll be some other ones. Yeah, there'll be some other ones that come close. Of course, there will be. But also that VMA's performance of Runaway, where he just presses one key and then runs off.
And then runs away. And
yeah,
goes, Ooh!
That is such an iconic, not only Kanye moment, but moment for the scene as a whole. I do think that song is such a top tier song.
It goes to show how good Kanye is at writing tunes, that he knows for a fact that just a single note would be enough to set people off, and that it would just be that contagious. Like, he's a genius.
I found it really interesting as well. Obviously, I don't think we've done a pod since Travis Scott released his latest album.
Don't think so.
And that was heavily influenced by Yeezus to an unbelievable extent. Some of the songs, I think, used a couple of the same samples as Yeezus, and he was a co-producer on some songs on that as well. So he was learning from Kanye while Kanye was producing that album. So it all kind of came full circle to Travis at his new album, and they sounded super similar. Anyway, I'll pick another song off my list. I'm not even doing them in a particular order. I'm going to do one now that I think you'll probably have on there just to ruin your fun.
All right.
And it is Linkin Park, Numb.
It's not on there.
Is it not?
It's not.
So, Linkin Park.
Linkin Park, what a fucking band.
Rest in peace to Chester.
R.I.P.
But I remember, not even just Numb. Also, Numb Encore from that Jay-Z Linkin Park Collision Course album, because that was like a cross-genre, unbelievable, banging song. We mentioned that album in our whole album, like our favourite albums of our lives episode. Go check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, Numb by Linkin Park. I think this is when they were at the height of their powers, and it was the song that really blew up for them. And everyone in the world still knows it to this day, which I think is a testament to how big it was and how good they were. But I really liked Linkin Park's style at that moment, because I've listened to interviews with them in recent times, actually, where obviously without Chester, when it's just like Shinoda and some of the other band members, and they were saying how like around the time of this release and when they were kind of building the band up, they felt that they were one of the first bands to really concentrate on like an artistic style for the band, apart from just the music and maybe who they were as people. Like they had all the like spray paint and like that kind of edgy vibe, whatever. And they put a lot into that. And I think that was clear to see.
Well, they kind of went down the route of like animation as well, which is one of the first bands to do that, where their music videos were like cartoony and they had like, little drawings of themselves that were like the little chibi versions, and those were massive back in the day. But they managed to do that before anyone else caught on to start doing that. So.
They literally had I think they were one of the first big bands that had like a lead art director or something along those lines. But Numb, it's just a big banger. It's a little bit self-explanatory, Numb. Everyone knows it. I loved it growing up. Even the remix was one of the biggest songs ever. What more can you say about it? And it was. Is it the biggest? Is it like new metal technically?
It is, yeah.
And it's the biggest song in that genre, which is now.
It's in that rap metal, new metal type genre, and I would argue that it's one of the biggest. Yeah. I mean, the people that they're rivaling in that genre. It's weird that they are put into that genre, because it just feels so much different to all the other bands in there. Yeah, it is clearly in that genre, but they just, like you're saying, with their art style and everything, you could tell they had their shit figured out. They knew what they were going for, it can tell by the amount of fucking listens it gets.
Yeah,
still
even
to this day.
What a belter! And Linkin Park's last couple new songs that they randomly released were really good. That were from that era, like Lost and stuff like that. Absolute bangers. I love them.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
It's you.
Here we go. Here we go. So this was one that was influential for me again, but only partially in the way that it got me into this artist. But I think this was influential even outside of music. This brought around a whole movement of people. And this is America by Childish Gambino.
Oh, do you know, I didn't think about that one.
So this song, when this was released, it just absolutely destroyed the scene. I remember the music video going live and everyone talking about it. The music video itself is arguably as memorable as the song is because it's just so, you know, artistically done. There's loads of imagery in their representation. It's clear that, you know, Donald Glover's sending a message to certain people by making this song. He's pointing out a lot of things with injustices in America and, you know, making a lot of arguments that you can't really ignore. And it, you know, it inspired a movement of people to, there was, you know, a slight uprising, I'd almost say, of people going, yeah, you're right, this is complete fucking bullshit. Why are we putting up with this? Things need to change. And it was also one of the songs that got me properly into Childish Gambino.
Yeah, he had a couple bangers before that as well, to be fair. But I think this was like a new breath of life into his music career because he'd done a bit of acting and stuff as well in between, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I don't know, he might have been post that
He did Community. I think that was in the late 2000s though, like early.
Was he in Solo? Was that him?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Yes, he was. Yeah, he played a young
Lando.
Yeah, that was it. And he's, you know, he's a fantastic actor. He's just an all-round great artist because obviously acting is art, music is art. He knows what he wants to make. He does.
But I think leaning into the acting as well. Obviously, the music video for "This Is America" is iconic as fuck. So you could kind of see the inspiration from both sides there. Because if the video wasn't as good, it wouldn't have matched. So there was already like both avenues of his talent were on display and then amalgamated to make an actual movement.
And another thing to throw into that, another talent was his dancing. His dancing in that music video. That's what I think that was one of the things that got, you know, he got his virality and there was a lot of memes made out of it. But, you know, memes only come from popular things. You don't get some random. I mean, sometimes there's random ones that come through, but when it's super popular, it's going to end up in memes. And that's what all the dances were with his little gun walking around and doing all his stutter stepping. And it was, but yeah, I'd say that's one of the most influential tracks.
Do you know, I didn't even, that never came into my head, but that's a massive shout. That's a massive shout. Right. What else am I going to pick? Mine are nowhere near. I've got the most notes on "Runaway" by Kanye West.
I'm so sorry.
I
knew that one would come up. I was like, I'm gonna have to get in first because I'm surprised you didn't put it first.
So I'm gonna go for one. I'm gonna stick on the like rap route for now, and I'm gonna go with Kid Cudi, "Day and Night."
Ooh. Oh, that's a tune. That was absolutely massive back in the day.
It was everywhere. Yeah. It was absolutely everywhere. Again, a really cool music video that I remember. I think Cudi was working in a shop, etc. But I think a lot of these songs have remained relevant because they've had a couple of good remixes as well. I remember there was a really good Day and Night remix, or it might have even just been called like Nightmare Edition of the song, where it was slightly different. But I've always absolutely loved this song. And I think this leads on to maybe a broader note of, I think Kid Cudi has been consistently one of the most underrated artists within that genre for a long time. He's always had really big I think in the last couple of years he's been noticed a little bit more, but there was a period in between when he did like Day and Night, and he had a couple of other, I think he did a song called Memories with David Guetta and a couple of other big songs. He kind of fell off a little bit, and then maybe in the last 3 or 4 years he's been on a couple of TV shows. He's been in he was in a film called X, and I remember when he did I think he went on SNL with a dress on or something, and that blew up. And he seems to be getting a bit more recognition. Obviously did The Adventures of Moon Man and Slim with Eminem, so he's had more recognition. But then there's also been tough, like whenever you look at Cudi stuff now, there's always a lot of haters in the comments.
Lots.
Mainly because he's fallen out with Kanye, and them two had such an amazing relationship, and it's a real shame because their collab album Kids See Ghosts it's just unbelievable. Like the whole album or EP is class, and I wish we'd get more Kids See Ghosts, but it'll probably never happen now.
Just to hark in on that, Kids See Ghosts, Fourth Dimension.
Why?
My favourite track off that record, I swear. That's been in my mix for the past couple of months, just constantly on. At the beginning, then it kicked, fucking come on.
I think all of them are, Fourth Dimension Reborn's really good as well. It's a like nice chill track. But yeah, Cody's been a part of so many good songs, so many good projects. And this was the one that blew him up. And I suppose he's always stuck around. But I just think, especially in the UK, I seem to remember this song just been on everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like just everywhere you went.
You went to little youth clubs. You went to the leisure centre.
Little
Anywhere it was
disco.
on the radio. Anywhere.
And then
where
it's
they were
even
playing
like
songs.
translated into adult life. Like this will still come on in the club in the UK.
And I'm almost certain. I can't say what, but I'm almost certain that companies will still use it as backing tracks for adverts. You know how it gets used as the beat because it's just such a recognizable beat. And if you can get people to accompany that beat to your brand, that's why people choose those tunes. That's why fucking Jet 2 has Jess Glynn. Now, whenever you hear that, you think fucking Jet 2. I hate it. They've ruined themselves with that, but. Day and Night is one of those.
They do it now though, just to take the piss because everyone tweets about it because they're that angry that they played it again. I came back from Paris last week and they started playing it.
It's just on the planes all the time, and it's just because the CEO paid a shitload of money for that track, and he says, "I'm getting my fucking money's worth."
Yeah, he ain't changing it now. There's no way he's changing it now. Right, we're back to you, Timothy. What is the next song?
Okay, so let me have a little scroll. I'm gonna go with one that's kind of in the same. I'd say roughly the same era, about the same time, and it's Crazy by Gnarls Barkley.
You got me crazy.
Yeah, absolutely massive. I remember I was talking to you about this recently. I think it was at the Blink gig, and the fact that Gnarls Barkley is named after a dog.
Oh,
that's the theory because it's Gnarls, so it gnarls, and Barkley because
I don't think I believed you, did I?
No, you didn't, and
Maybe
apparently
it was
it's bollocks. But apparently, so Gnarls Barkley was the duo of CeeLo Green and Danger Mouse. Right. So before CeeLo Green released Fuck You, he released Crazy, which I had no idea about until a couple of years ago. And then when you find out that it was him, you kind of have this. So he was famous before he was famous, but he was releasing music before Gnarls Barkley as well. But then he blew it with Gnarls Barkley, released Fuck You with CeeLo Green, came, and then it all kind of popped off for him. Insane. But that track has stood the test of time, in my opinion. Like, that could come on it with those initial 4 beats, because I think it was produced by Pharrell as well, because that's his signature.
I remember when.
Into it.
Yeah. See, do you know when you first said Crazy? Yeah. Literally, for a second, I was like, hey, what song is that? And then I went in my head, you say me crazy.
Yeah, it's that one. Yeah.
That is one. It cut radio all the time still.
All the time.
It's on TV adverts and stuff like that, I believe.
Yeah. And it's a classic. I'm almost certain it's Pharrell produced because Pharrell's call tag at the beginning of songs is 4 beats. So like drop it like it's hot. It's doon do doon do doon do doon. And then with Crazy, it's bum 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 bum. Boom. Yeah, and all if you notice with Pharrell's songs, all the songs he produces have the 4 count at the beginning. Yeah, just next time you listen, happy dun 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 dun. Am I seeing crazy? Yeah. There you go. Little facts for you there.
He needs to stop that. That won't work. That won't work in today's TikTok generation. People will be like, "Nah, I don't have the patience."
Switching off the 3 seconds too long. This track.
Sorry,
load of bollocks.
Sorry. Right, I'm gonna go with one.
Yeah. Go on.
Sorry, did you have what else on Crazy?
No. I was gonna say sick track.
It is a banger. I'm going to go with one that I think is one of the most iconic UK indie songs of all time. And it is Two Door Cinema Club, What You Know. Do you not know that? You don't know that song?
I might.
So it goes,
I don't know it off the top of my head.
You'll know it just from this riff. It goes.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's a different one.
Is it?
Yeah, that's called Undercover Mate, Martin. Yeah,
it's got a little drums in the background though, and it like a little hi hat or something. I think I do know the one you mean. Yeah. No, what am I thinking? It's not.
Yeah.
That does have the.
No, that's a different song.
Are you sure? Doesn't it just before it kicks in? It goes,
no, that song that goes. No, that goes. And then it goes.
Yeah,
that's a different song.
Is that 2 Door as well?
Yeah, they're both 2 Door.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what's weird as well?
Yeah.
Look.
I
I actually have that one written down, but I changed it to What You Know because I thought that's more iconic. So we were close on that.
There you go. Yeah.
We were close.
Yeah.
But anyway,
getting off the singing portion. Yeah.
What is 2 Door? But What You Know, every time I've seen it live, as soon as there's the little intro to it, the little riff, it's just hype. Like everyone just absolutely loves that song. And it's one of those, no matter where, if you're in work, if you're in a car, if you're on a field, if you're wherever you are, if you put that song on, everyone knows it. And it's a proper British anthem. Like I think 2 Door might be Irish or Northern Irish, but somehow that song is just, it's just everywhere. Even my mates that don't like rock music at all, they're like, oh, I'd love to see that song live. It's just, everyone loves it.
Was it ever a FIFA tune?
They did have songs on FIFA,
Right.
but not that
yeah,
one.
Yeah. I was gonna say because that feels like a big FIFA tune.
Yeah. And I've just, for me personally as well,
Yeah.
I've had some really good memories with that song. I've seen Two Door twice this year. Both times they were amazing. Both times with different cool people as well. And then I'm seeing him again actually next week. You know, I just. But
Bro loves seeing the same bands.
do you know why though? I'd seen him before a couple years ago at Leeds Fest, and then I didn't see him again. And they were one of my favourite bands of all time. Like I quoted this Taurus History album when we did our favourite albums again as one of my favourite albums
you
ever.
did. Yeah.
And I think that the whole album is pretty iconic. But I never had the opportunity to see him for some reason. And when I did, the first time, I wasn't with the right people. It wasn't a good vibe. I was right near the back. So I feel like this year, I mean, to be honest, it's been half coincidence. Two times it's been at festivals.
True.
But then
yeah, that shit happens.
But then I've never seen them at. Oh no, I have seen them at their own gig. I seen them at Broodnell once for a tenner.
Oh, there you go.
I don't. You see, I've been to that many gigs. I forget gigs.
This is
and they
my
pop into
problem
my
as
head.
well. Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
somebody goes, "I'm off to see these." He's, "Oh, I wish I'd see them." And then sometimes someone will tell you and say, "You told me you did see them," and you go, "Oh shit, I did
This
see
happened-
them." Yeah. Fuck.
When I was at Truck Festival, I seen a band called Wonder Horse, who, by the way, Wonder Horse are the next big thing.
You love Wonder
They
Horse.
are so
Yeah,
good.
you
They've
sing
got
their
one
praises.
album, and it's an absolute belter called Cub. There's so many teal, purple, Girl Behind the Glass. There's so many bangers on there. But anyway, I seen him at Truck Festival. I was like, I swear I recognise that guy. Like, I swear I do. And then I worked out, I think it came up on my TikTok. They had supported Foals at Millennium Square last year, like last year, and I seen them, but I must have just been there with a pint and literally had no idea who they were at that point. And
Yeah, because you were just going to see Falls. You didn't
Yeah.
look at the support acts and that.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I think I got there right because I know I remember getting there pretty late because I had time to grab one beer and then get near the front for Falls. But yeah, that was a similar case of that. What you know, absolute belter, big
Absolute
indie
belter.
banger.
Yeah.
What's your next song?
Yeah. Hadn't even thought of that one.
I love how we both just keep fucking sidetracking to like a million different.
Thing is, though, when you're talking about songs that are big for you, you're going to end up sidetracking. And also, we're talking about music, and we're both massive music nerds. So we know way too many facts and little caveats. So you say, and actually, this person was in this band for 3 years. And fucking. Right, so my next influential track, this is a big one, and you'll agree. We're kind of going to the indie scene. We're kind of talking revival of the indie rock scene, mid 2000s. You ready? Take Me Out, Franz Ferdinand.
Oh,
So this was, absolutely insane. This is what brought Franz Ferdinand to be a prominent figure in that scene. That track was absolutely everywhere, and the build up that it has to the point where it goes da 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 da. You start stomping, then the.
Such a banger.
And it's a stadium song. It's just a shared song. Everybody loves that song. I don't think there's a single person in this country, at least, that would say that is a bad track. I'd stand by that.
Such a banger.
It is.
Everywhere. I hear that song everywhere. And you know, that is one of those, whatever festival you're at in the world, that song will be played through the speakers while you're waiting for the headliner to come on.
Yeah.
Every time.
100%.
I've had so many fun memories with that song as well. I've seen them a couple times, and they've always been a fantastic live band. They've got a few other bangers as well. But Take Me Out, oh my God, bro. They headlined Reading and Leeds once, you know?
True.
And it was after that one and banger
sense.
album.
Yeah, it makes sense because, like I was saying, I think they were like pivotal. There was a couple of bands around that time, but they were one of the bands that released a huge song and then went on to release some others. You know, you're probably talking Kaiser Chiefs around then as well.
Block Party.
Yeah, those kind of bands. They were in there massively, and if not in the upper echelons of those bands. And I think they were one of the main reasons of the revival of that scene.
Yeah, they were. It was weird how I feel like there was the boom of indie rock. Like Arctic Monkeys were around.
Yeah.
Like there was a few bands around that time.
Like Cortinas and... Well,
They're
no,
a little
later.
bit. No,
Yeah,
in fact,
they
they
were a
have
bit
been around for
later,
ages. But then it kind of died down a bit. And then I feel like in the last maybe 2 or 3 years, it's kind of boomed again.
Yeah.
I think like a mixture of bands coming back, like 75 coming back, Arctic Monkeys coming back, Sam Fender blowing up.
I do think that Arctic Monkeys are slowly going to realise that it's the old stuff that people are getting back into.
I think they know, but they don't give a fuck.
I know they don't give a fuck, and
Of course they know.
I know, but the most recent resurgence of them, shit that I've seen on socials, it's everybody talking about the first 2 albums, and it always is. Nobody down here, anybody talking about the new shit.
Well, AM.
Yeah, AM, but
But that
it's
was
not
only
super
2
new.
albums ago, 2, 3.
Yeah,
back.
and then it became Alex Turner featuring the Arctic Monkeys, didn't
true.
it? But yeah,
It's a shame
Anyway.
because there was glimmers of hope on the car as well. There was a couple of bits where I was like, "Ooh," and then it just never,
Then it fell
never
off again.
evolved.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
yeah.
Some people fucking love it though, but I
Yeah.
don't know if that's just because they're pretending to love it because it's
because
the
it's
Arctic
Arctic
Monkeys.
Monkeys. Yeah,
I feel like that is actually the case. But yeah, Franz Ferdinand.
big shout,
Yeah,
big shout.
I love them.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
good
yeah,
band.
yeah.
What can I go for next? What can Joe go for next?
Let's find out.
I'm gonna go, and there's definitely a more iconic song by this band, but I'm going by personal memory of it
That's
as
what.
well.
Yeah, that's what some of mine are as well.
And it's the Killers, When We Were Young.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So obviously, Mr. Brightside is a bigger song, British classic.
I'll
Everyone-
cross that one off my list.
Yeah, have you already got that?
I've got Mr.
Yeah, I
Brightside,
mean, that is the British national anthem at this
is,
point.
It is.
But I think When We Were Young was an album after, or 2 albums after the Mr. Brightside album, Hot Fuss, and then I don't know what was it? Oh, and then it was on Sam's Town. I'm just testing my own musical knowledge and knowing if I get these albums right. Yeah, When We Were Young was on Sam's Town. Anyway, also,
I'll take your word for it, man.
I think I've got a weird relation to certain music where in my head it's a Guitar Hero song. Because when I was younger, I went through a phase of about 3 or 4 years.
When you were
where
young.
I was young, and I was also addicted to Guitar Hero.
Yeah, I went through
like
that phase.
fully addicted.
Yeah.
So there's When We Were Young just reminds me of getting stoned as fuck in my conservatory and playing Guitar Hero and play because that was already one of my favorite songs. Playing that on repeat. I remember downloading it on my LG G3 phone and just having the time of my life.
The
like
world's shittiest speaker.
no, it was actually all right on the LG.
True.
Yeah,
Fair
yeah, that
play,
was
fair
two
play. I
front-facing
take it back.
speakers.
I
Don't
take it
fucking
back.
diss LG.
I'm
Life's
so
good with
sorry.
that bitch.
Life's good.
But nah, it was just a belter, and every time I've seen them live, that feels like a special moment because it's a song that everyone knows, but it's not quite as big as some of like Human and stuff. But I feel like it has a bit more character to it for that reason.
It was one of those songs that when I saw him perform it at Leeds Fest, I went, "Oh, they did this one as well." There was about 7 of those, to be honest, because I forgot that they did all because they kind of merge in with like Kaiser Chiefs and all those from around that time. I figure, it's somebody else that's done that song. Then they played it, and I was like, "Shit, it was the Killers that did this." Harking back to Guitar Hero and being on that indie style though, Block Party Helicopter. That was another one.
Was that
I
on
used to-
Guitar Hero?
Guitar Hero 3. Yeah,
I don't know if I already had 3. I remember Losing My Religion was on one of them.
REM. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was World Tour, I think.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah,
What
that's
else?
fourth
What
one.
else is a Guitar Hero song? Oh, A-Punk.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was on-
yeah.
that was on Guitar Hero.
I learned that on bass recently. That's fucking hard as nails.
Well, actually, Did you see the recent rumor that Activision have apparently confirmed
just
Guitar?
about to fucking say that.
It looks like Guitar Hero is making a comeback, and we've mentioned this
does.
on the pod before.
We have.
They could make racks with that.
Yeah.
I'd buy it.
Yeah, I would.
I'd
Fucking
buy the
it.
whole fucking set.
They have to bring back the 5-button guitar.
Yeah.
They have to
Not
bring it
the-
back. Not the 3 and 3.
we don't
None
want
of that bollocks. I want red, blue, green, orange, and yellow. Whatever the fuck the colours were. Bring them back. Give us the same guitars again. Just give us a new game with new songs. That's all. That's all they need to do.
And
It's
actually-
print in money.
Actually, put a lot of songs on it.
Yeah.
Don't
yeah.
put like 20 and then make you buy
And then
each
make
extra
it,
one
yeah,
for £2.
and do free DLC with it every 3 months to keep the game alive. Just
Yeah.
throw an extra 20 songs on there, and then
Or-
people will keep playing it.
Or do like a season pass where you pay a tenner a year and people will just forget about it, so they'll make loads of money.
Yeah.
And you add like 5 songs a month.
Yeah. Because for the charting for it, there's games like Clone Hero where people make custom-made charts and you can play any song you want. And you think, if people are doing that just daily at home, well, from Activision, you can throw fucking 10 members of staff at it and make 1,000,000 songs in like a day.
They'd make racks off
Yeah.
that. Another influential song from myself, and I think it was one that had
Oh,
a
you're
massive.
jumping in with another one.
What did I just go?
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said fucking when we were young. When you were young. Ooh,
Yeah.
somebody was young. I don't know if it was me or you.
Your
Then
missus.
you went off on a story about somebody being young, about you being young, and then we went from there. And then you went to do another one, cutting me out, bro. Telling stories and fucking cutting me out.
It's Tim's song next.
Yeah, it fucking is. So we're gonna go with one of the most iconic tracks, arguably in the last 20 years. I don't know what that little thing was there. Arguably in the last 20, 25 years, and I think it's the top 10 of most played tracks at stadiums, at events, at anything.
Okay.
And that is "Lose Yourself," Eminem.
No, it's not.
What? Do you not
That's
think?
not top 10 most iconic tracks of the last 25 years.
Yeah, it is.
It's not even top 10. It's not even top 3 Eminem iconic tracks of the last 25 years.
It's played fucking everywhere.
Bro, it's not... Right, there's other Eminem songs that have played more than that.
Like what?
Love the Way You Lie.
Where? No, I mean like at stadium. I'm talking about influential here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at stadiums and gigs and before.
Yeah.
Shit. They played it before fucking
No, but you can't
Busted.
say-
Come on. Busted.
Yeah,
We're
but that's
playing
just
Lose
weird.
Yourself.
What else? Not Afraid.
Yeah, but you don't hear that at stadiums and gigs and stuff.
When did just because you heard it at Busted.
But it wasn't just Busted. There's loads of other events I've
Nah,
heard it at.
I'm
You
not
hear it
hearing
at
it.
all sorts
No,
of...
you don't.
Yes, you do. Sporting events, fucking music events.
You hear
fucking
My Name Is
everything.
more. You hear My Name Is
You
more.
don't. When
Yes,
the
you
fuck
do.
have you heard My Name Is at a fucking sporting event? Hi, my name is...
No,
that
you would.
doesn't happen.
Yeah, I've never heard Lose Yourself either.
What the fuck?
You think I'm going to be at Ellen Road and Lose Yourself by Eminem comes on?
More likely than fucking My Name Is.
Nah,
Jesus
Love the Way You Lie is more likely.
No, how?
Just gonna...
No, that's not much. That doesn't get people hyped up at all.
Lose
That's the
Yourself.
most boring. Lose Yourself gets the
No, but
fucking
it's not
audience.
even- you can't
better
say it.
lose
It's
yourself
top-
in the music the moment you own it.
You can't
You
say
better
it's
never
top 10.
let it.
No, all right, let me speak. You can't
Go.
say it's top 10 most influential songs of the last 25 years, right? When it's not even top 3 most influential Eminem songs of the last 25 years, just because they play it at fucking Busted or at a couple of gigs. It's not even one of the best known Eminem songs of the last 25 years.
You went with When We Were Young over Mr. Brightside, bro.
Yeah, but I explained that I was wrong first. That I know that Mr. Brightside's
Yeah,
bigger.
true. I went in with confidence.
Wait, I want to see if I'm wrong. Oh, it's his 3rd most streamed song.
Oh, is it? Oh, is it?
No, it's not actually.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's his 1st most streamed song.
Is it his first most streamed
first.
song? Is it?
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Weird that, innit? It's the guy wearing the Eminem hoodie. What would he know? What the fuck would he know?
Bro.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Now you look like a fuckhead. This is not me no more. This is on you. You're going to look like a clown.
I'm
Do you
cutting that out.
want to retract?
No, I'm cutting that out.
You're cutting
it's
that
not
whole
going
bit
in the
out.
pod.
You're cutting that whole bit
Yeah,
out.
we didn't talk about
We
Lose
didn't
Yourself.
talk about Lose. You lost yourself.
I
That's
did lose.
what
I
happened
lost
there.
there. Nah,
You did.
I can't believe that. It's got 1.9 billion streams. I didn't think that was anywhere near his biggest song.
Mhm.
I thought
I don't personally think it's his best song by a long shot, but it is.
that's random.
It is. I know. I agree that it doesn't seem like it should be, but when you actually listen to it and then
Stan.
think about it, Stan's huge, but
Stan's
you couldn't
the goat.
play
No,
Stan
it's not
at
the
a
biggest.
stadium.
It's not that type of vibe. But I'm saying I think that's one of his goat songs.
Oh yeah, definitely for
As- oh,
storytelling and
well,
stuff
do you know what?
changed.
You just won that battle, and I am baffled.
You're gonna bring the war.
What?
You're gonna bring the war.
I don't get it.
I won the battle.
Anyway,
John.
I'm also surprised that Eminem is the 18th most listened to artist in the world. Still, I didn't. I know he's big, but I didn't think he'd be 18th.
It's a big boy.
Has he got-
It was his birthday the other day. Happy
Did you
birthday,
just-
Eminem! 51st birthday, big boy Eminem.
Did you just fucking TikTok Eminem?
What do you mean?
He's higher than Kanye.
Did I tick? Of course he is.
He's a big boy. He's a big.
Yeah. Of course he's higher than Kanye. Who's Kanye? Kanye who? Kanye who? As Snoop Dogg would say.
Nah,
Who?
Kanye is better than Eminem. You know, it's a debate that could be had though.
It is a debate that could be had, but if you included Kanye's unreleased tracks, then I'd have that debate. Without him, Eminem wins.
Which one do you like?
Which one do you think I like?
Yeah, Kanye.
Can you be?
If you've not listened to an unreleased Kanye track called "Can You Be," it's on YouTube and stuff. Go fucking source it. It's an absolute belter, and I don't think it'll ever make it on.
He would create world peace with that song.
Well,
I mean, we'll get onto that.
no,
but
we
he
won't get
would.
onto that. Okay, now we're not talking about wars on this podcast. All right.
Talk about world peace, bro.
Anyway, I'm going to create a war with this comment. I'm going in with the next track, and that is from the legendary 1975. And I'm actually not going to go
There's
with...
There's one track by the 1975 that I would say, okay, let's see.
I'm going with Robbers.
Can you give me a...
Robbers has got it's got a really iconic guitar riff at the start. It's like... But again, it had a super, super cool music video where Matt Healy was like robbing a shop, I think it was, with like a bandana around his face.
It
and
was
stuff.
actually CCTV footage from his heroin days.
Yeah, it could have been. But I just think that song, out of all the 1975 tunes that did really well in that era, like Girls and Chocolate,
That was the one I was going to say.
Chocolate. Yeah, I mean, chocolate could be in there, but at the same time, I think it's a little bit more throwaway. And even they don't perform it live a lot of the time now. I think it was very of that indie era, which is fine.
Yeah.
And it probably did help to define that like 2012 to 2015 indie bit. But I think Robbers has stood the test of time a little bit better, has a little bit more of something about it. There's a lot of raw emotion in the song. The music video was iconic. And I just think out of all the songs on that album, obviously 1975 are one of my favourite bands, but not only that, they're one of the biggest bands in the UK. And it kind of, whenever I hear that, reminds me of that era of the band and like the like box era where they had the big neon box behind them. And I just think that song is really good. And the fact that they keep that in the set list and don't have Girls or Chocolate most of the time says a lot about kind of how they view those songs as well, in terms of the band's evolved a lot, but that still stands, whereas the other ones maybe not so much.
Yeah, I think they must have preferred the songwriting on that versus...
Well, it's got a lot more to it. It really does, but...
Chocolate was very radio friendly. And I mean, it hit the radios and it wouldn't fucking go off the radios.
And I think Chocolate, in a weird way, has kind of given the 1975 a little bit of a bad name. Yeah. Like, whenever I mention the 1975 to someone that doesn't like them, their instant reaction is, oh, it's my night chocolate. But it's like, everyone does
I'm not even kidding. But that's one of the things that I fucking hate about them, was that they were always on the radio. That was my first introduction to 1975 was Chocolate. So all I knew was,
yeah.
And it was so fucking annoying. Now whenever I hear that track, I just get the ick instantly. And you know, that's kind of what set into motion my dislike for the 1975.
And do you know what else as well, yeah? And this is a random note. People getting the ick gives me the ick.
Does it? Yeah.
I hate the word ick.
Do you?
Like, people just make shit up though. Like, they see something that's a little bit cringy and they're like, oh, that gives me the ick. No, it doesn't. It's just a bit annoying. But people use it seriously. They're like, oh, if I saw a guy that, like, tripped over his untied shoelace, so I'd never talk to him. And it's like, do you know what I mean, though?
I think it's the other way around, where I think is the thing that everybody had but nobody spoke about. And now people are making it clear that they have these little prejudices.
None of it's true.
How do you know?
It's not. Unless it's something that's actually rank, like really, like eating your fucking bogies or not washing your hands or something.
But somebody will get the ick by somebody tripping over the foot because they look like a fool. They're like, that's not a man.
No, it's not. That's not. That wouldn't actually stop you from conversating with someone, though. Or
it might.
Well,
you don't know. That's just what I'm saying.
If you have little icks like that, you need to grow up. Actually, you need to sort it out.
Some of my biggest icks, people referring to body parts with certain words. I don't like that.
What do you mean? Give an example.
I don't want to give an example anymore.
Let me see your little coochie. I'm going to have to cut that out. It's the fact I had it little before.
But yeah, shit like that, basically. Yeah, that's what gives me the ick. Exactly that right
anyway,
there.
Yeah, the icks are annoying as fuck. I can't put that line in. I'm going to have to cut it out. Right,
no, keep that in.
The little coochie?
Yeah.
Nah, that's I don't know. It just seems fucked up. I feel a bit embarrassed.
Nonce.
Is it your song?
It's my song.
No, it's not. You're not getting another After Lose Yourself. No, go ahead. What have we got next?
Thanks, pal. So I've got another Eminem one, but I'm not going to throw it out there. I've got another Childish Gambino one. Not going to throw it out there. I mean, I've thrown it. Redbone and Stan were the two that I had, but you know, the
said Stan.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. Gold Digger, Kanye West, massive, absolutely huge. But what I'm going to go in on now is one that I think we'll both agree on. American Idiot, Green Day.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable. Changed fucking everything.
Kerrang.
Just all over the place. MTV. Any station that had the ability to play videos was playing that fucking Green video where all the ooh goes down the green American flag. That's what you know is Green Day. I think they knew that song was massive, which is why everything in that video is fucking green. So you know it's Green Day because you'd link the two together. And I don't think anybody can argue that was a fucking, a phenomenon.
Oh, it was. That song was absolutely.
That took American Idiot. Green Day were already huge. That took them to insane heights.
Well, worldwide,
they just rode that.
That song kind of blew them up to the point of now, to this day, still selling out stadiums.
Yeah, and that whole album was a work of art, like from top to bottom. It was kind of like theatrical rock.
Did that have Jesus of Suburbia on and stuff like that? Yeah.
It was basically just one giant. Well, I mean, they made it into a rock opera, didn't they? In the end, there's American Idiot or something like that. Is a stage show.
Oh wow!
On Broadway, and you could just tell in them writing it that it's the art of albums again. it's just a lost art recently that people don't really care about album listings.
I think it's coming. I think it's coming back a little bit.
It is slowly, because people went down the wave of just listening to single songs, and everybody's got bored of that over the last 5 years. And now we've all gone back to, I might listen to the whole
And I think
album.
it's also the we've spoke about this a couple of times, but the resurgence of physical form albums.
Yeah.
I know that more people still use streaming services by a long distance, but I think the fact that on social media and stuff, you're seeing people pick up full albums, vinyls and stuff all the time. Like kind of music reviewers, there's a lot of them about as well now, like that are blowing up and stuff. So I think that has led to more and more people thinking, oh, well, maybe I will just listen to the full album. Like, I do that. I didn't used to do that. I used to wait a couple of weeks till after the album was out and I just listened to the couple big songs.
Yeah.
Whereas now, when there's like any artist that I like releases an album, I will actually listen to it. And even artists that I don't like, speaking of, sorry, I've completely stolen your Green Day point.
No.
But Drake released another new album a couple of weeks ago and it was fucking shit.
Which
again.
one was this one?
For All the Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Even dogs wouldn't want to listen to that shit. Like, and I'm not just been a Drake hater, but I think his last two, in fact, his last three albums have been really poor.
Really?
Early Drake is good. There's some good songs, good albums in there, but the new Drake stuff is boring. Like, it is so dry.
People have got theories that he's just pumping shit out at the moment because he's in some kind of contract that he needs to get out of. So he's just dropping a load of albums because he's contractually obligated to drop albums. So he's saying, right, have this, and then he'll get out of that and release a new one again. Personally, I think he just fell off.
Yeah.
I think he's fallen off and he can't claw his way back. He's trying with these fucking albums to making it worse for himself.
But I mean, the thing is, they still sell really well and stuff, and he's always going to sell his shows.
He's got Drake fans. That's it. There are massive Drake fans that will stick to him. Like we were saying with Arctic Monkeys, they'll listen to any release that they do because they're a big fan of him. But I think even they couldn't argue that Certified Lover Boy was a good album. Like, fuck me, that was dreadful. Yeah. And the album covers that he's gone with as well, that one with all the pregnant emojis and
I've got to admit, to be honest, I feel like a lot of the bigger rap or hip hop artists, their last few releases haven't been that good. Like, I'll be on, like Donda was okay, but then there was Donda 2. Donda was okay, but there was too many duds in the track list. There was a few bangers though, to be fair, which I think is more than you can say for the last few Drake albums.
Yes,
but
then
definitely. Travis Scott's latest release wasn't all that. Again, there's one or two good tracks. The rest of it, everyone's like meh. The last couple Drake releases were pretty poor. Kendrick's last album was good, Mr. Morale.
Yeah,
that was pretty fire. But apart from that, it's the
feel
smaller artists.
I don't know why, but I feel like Kendrick is in a newer generation. I know he's in the similar generation to Drake and all that. It feels like he came about a couple of years after them.
He did.
So it feels like he's still got some in the bag, if you know what I mean. Whereas it feels like the other ones are getting aged and losing in touch with what's popular and what should be good. Yeah. But then you wonder...
I don't think Kanye is so much. I just think he doesn't give a fuck. No, Whereas Drake feels like he's trying to still fit in the curve and not. He's missing it.
Yeah. Kanye's just doing what Kanye does. He's a different beast, though. Whereas with people like Drake, they just cling into popularity, trying to see what would work.
But I think out of the last few years, some of the better rap projects have been from artists that are nowhere near as big. Like Baby Keem's last album was fire. Obviously, Denzel Curry's last album was fire. You had that...
phenomenal.
Oh, who was it? Danny Brown, JPEG Mafia, Scaring the Hoes album. That was fire.
That was fucking fantastic.
So there's albums like that are still coming out, but they get nowhere near the recognition that they should because you've still got Drake dropping duds every year. And
in it, well, I mean, the next album that I'm excited to see, obviously, but that I reckon will be relatively soon is another M drop. That's in the pipeline.
But to be honest, I even think M's last two projects have been pretty dry.
Yeah, they have been. They've been lackluster. So we had Music to Be Murdered By, then Music to Be Murdered By Part 2, well, Side B, whatever you want to call it. And they were both, I really enjoyed them both. They were better than Revival. Kamikaze was amazing, but then this was a bit of a
Do you know what? Even Kamikaze, though, I really enjoyed Kamikaze at the time, but I don't listen to one track off there now.
True, I adore Kamikaze, one of my favourite projects. Well, I mean, yeah, oh, fucking hell, attacking the microphone. Yeah, but his next release, I think he's got to do something interesting, otherwise he's going to fall off the face of the earth like Drake and like all these people as well.
I just hope he does some dates in the UK, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. Should we move on to next song?
Yeah, is it me?
I remember what that next song, what did I say? Which one did I go with?
Not a clue.
Green Day.
Green Day. How the
fuck did we get there?
We went from Green Day to a whole rant on fucking... Well, do you know what? I'm pretty much at the end of my list, so I'm just going to blast through one or two that are a bit more
throw a couple
towards me. So one of them is a really random shout, and it's the Menzingers After the Party. And I think it's because it's a song that has a lot more meaning for me. It is one of their biggest songs, and a lot of pop punk fans might know it. But It was just like a post breakup period in my life, and I was at Slam Dunk Festival, and
Big
I was
ups.
really wrecked. And it was one of the first times, I must have been 18 at the time. It was one of the first times in my life that I was just watching a random band because I was bored, and I really fell in love with them. And this song just kind of reminds me, because then I fell in love with them there. And that song, 'cause Slam Dunk's right at the start of summer in the UK, that was my song of the summer. So it reminds me
Nice.
of like just turning 18, loving that song all summer. And then it kind of motivated me to look into more pop punk bands. And then I've seen them a couple times since, and they've always been amazing. Last time I seen them, the last train home from Manchester was really late. No, it was really early. So I had to leave the gig early and run in the rain through
Peak.
Manchester for like 20 minutes to get the train home.
Fuck's sake.
But I made it even with shin splints. And then the only other one I've got on my list is the 1975, If You're Too Shy, Let Me Know. Iconic trumpets. I think it's probably the 1975's best song in the last two albums at least. And I just think it's a banger. It's a feel good song. It's been one of my songs of the summer for the last 2 years, and the 1975 are goated.
Fair play, fair play. I'll run through my leftovers as well then. Creep by Radiohead. Don't think anybody can argue that that's not an insanely influential
Why?
song. Everybody knows it. Everybody dislikes Radiohead for some reason,
Yeah.
but everybody likes that song. Even if they take the piss out of it, they take the piss out of it in the same way that they do with "Where Are You?" It's got that kind of vibe of "I'm a creep." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's that one."
And that whole Radiohead album was the
Yeah.
OK Computer.
Yeah,
That's
that-
like renowned to be like the best
all-
album ever.
All those first 3-4 projects that they did, fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
But unless you like, the art of albums was perfect. Then if you go through them, it's a fucking adventure.
I'd love to see them.
So yeah, I'd fucking kill to see. I think they played Glasgow recently.
But it was like 5 years ago.
Was it that long
Yeah,
ago?
I think so.
Fuck me. Yeah, because they released "Burn the Witch" or something like that. It was a new release that they did.
Anyway.
Hurt, Johnny Cash, not the 9-Inch Nails version.
I don't know what Hurt is.
I hurt myself today to see if I feel pain.
Don't know it.
You don't know it? What? You must know
I actually
Hurt.
don't.
You will know Hurt.
I don't.
Guarantee you know Hurt.
You can't start playing it because we'll get
I can't
copyrighted.
start playing it.
No,
'cause
we'll
you
get
can cut it out
copyrighted.
because I'm gonna no. Because
No, I
it needs
don't
to
wanna-
make sense. It needs
don't-
to make sense.
That was quite good singing from you, though.
It was good on it. I thought that was like.
Wait. Let me just. Oh yeah, I know this.
Yeah.
I know the riff straight away. All right. But
Yeah. So that.
why is that so iconic?
So the reason why that's so iconic is because a lot of people know it. It's a very big track. It's kind of in the same vein as "Creep," a sad but kind of you listen to it to feel sad.
Everyone knows
Like,
it still.
Yeah. And it was actually the last or one of the last songs like a year before Johnny Cash passed away, and he contacted Trent Reznor of 9-Inch Nails and said, well, he didn't, but his people did, and said, Johnny really wants to do a cover of your song.
Mad.
And everybody thinks it's the other way around because Johnny Cash is such an old artist and 9-Inch Nails are so new. But Trent thought, that's going to be so weird. And then when he listened to it, he cried the first time that he listened to
Damn.
it because Johnny Cash singing that just works so well with his voice, the acoustic guitar, how
A
it's
lot of meaning to it.
gives me goosebumps like listening to it. It's such a good song. Gold Digger, Kanye West, Mr. Brightside. There was one more in here. All Right, Kendrick Lamar. That's kind of in the same vein as This Is America. That
Yeah.
started out a little
Yeah.
uprising.
I feel like
people saying-
Damn was a bit of a bigger influential one
yeah,
from
yeah.
Kendrick.
I just feel like All Right had more of a message, more
Yeah,
of a
no, I agree.
political
It,
side
it
to
had
it.
more to it, but at the same time, I feel like Damn blew him. It was a bit more. I remember that everywhere.
Yeah, Dan was
Yeah.
definitely everywhere, but that was more on the side of, I went with All Right because it was encouraging. And
I think we've picked some bangers there. I think
Oh,
we could do a
yeah.
part 2 to this. Easy.
one final one. We could definitely do a part 2, but one final one for this one. Rap Snitch Knishes, MF Doom featuring Mr. Fantastic. If it wasn't for that track, wouldn't have a fucking clue who MF Doom is, and now he's like top 3 artist for mine.
Yeah.
That track is the one track that, if anybody knows of MF Doom, even just vaguely, if they know the name, they'll know that one track,
Right.
and they'll know.
Well, I know the
guitar
name,
riff
but I
from
don't
it.
know that
The
track.
doom, doo, doom, doo, doom, doo, doo, doom, doom, doo, doom, doo, doom, doo, doo,
I find it mad as well that there's a big MF Doom mural in Leeds, England.
Well, he died in Leeds.
I
It
saw.
was-
Is that true? Is that confirmed?
Well,
though?
it was a hospital in Leeds that confirmed he passed away.
What the fuck was he
That
doing
was
in
the
Leeds?
medical record. He lived in Leeds. There was a time, I don't know when it was. It was in the 2000s or somewhere around there. He lived in Leeds for a couple of years, but just because he's such a mystery and hidden man. Nobody knew where he lived.
That's weird.
And nobody cared where he lived, and nobody had any idea. It only all came out after he'd passed because everybody dug into his shit and found all this stuff out. And yeah, he was in Leeds.
Wow.
Which is so fucking
No, that's
sick.
impressive.
Yeah, innit?
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah.
There's been some mad random people in Leeds. I saw something about Lady Gaga, but I'm dying right now.
Yeah, I know what's going on. Bro's been hit by a case of the hay fever.
I don't know what it is.
His allergies have got fucking hell. Your eyes have gone red, bro.
Have they? Yeah. I feel like I'm proper. Like I've just caught a cold instantly.
God, stay the fuck away from me, bro.
I don't know what's happened. But no, I think we've picked some absolute belters there.
Can't argue. I don't think those are songs that you. What the fuck's going on? You all right?
Do you know when your nose just? It's just like
Yeah. Well, I mean, not as bad as that. I never get like attacked by it. Fuck me. You're like battling a ghost. Yeah, I think those songs you can't argue the influence. Those just are influential songs. I don't even think it's up for debate.
I think I could have picked better ones in terms of the influence they had on the world instead of the influence they had on me. But it made it a good balance at least.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think if we were to do a round two, I think we should come with globally influential because we could definitely.
Oh yeah, we could definitely do that. We'll do it at some point.
Yeah.
Anyway, what you got going on in life? Anyway, it's been a couple of weeks since we last did an F.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. Been to some gigs, been doing this, that, and the other. We went to see Blink. That was pretty fun. That was the fucking most goated gig.
Yeah, Blink's new album will be out by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
But they've released a couple tracks from it already, and I must admit, I'm loving the sound.
And they just dropped the Zane Lowe interview today.
Oh yeah, I'll check that. I love Zane Lowe.
He's fantastic.
Such a don.
Yeah.
There was a really good Paramore remix album last week as well, and there was a Zane Lowe remix song on there that he'd done in one of the last Paramore songs.
Fucking hell.
And then there was also a really good Foles did a remix of This Is Why, which was pretty banging.
That's cool.
So it's very rare that a remix album actually has good tunes on. I know that's a tight thing to say, but more time I hate them. Whereas this Paramore one actually seemed to be a little bit different.
Yeah, most of the time it tends to be like experimental shit or just like, it's just a bunch of DJs that have done a remix and it's like, yeah, it's all right, but it's their style and I don't like their style. So, but I mean, there's some good shit out there.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Oh, I've just been living, brother.
Just been living. I was
in Paris for a little bit last week, and Paris is quite good. I think it's a great place. I do think the Eiffel Tower is a little bit overrated, though. I've got to admit, I see a lot of people online talking about the Paris effect, the Paris effect of how it's romanticized in movies and everyone thinks it's going to be like way better than it is. I don't particularly think that's the case. In terms of capital cities go, I think it is pretty good. I don't think it's much better than Berlin or a lot of the other like Athens, Rome or whatever. But maybe as a European, we're a bit more understanding of what to expect when going to France.
Yeah.
Maybe in I think it's more like Asian countries like China and Japan and stuff. There is that Paris effect because they watch the American movies and think, oh, Paris.
Well, I mean, even Americans.
Americans as well.
Most affected.
But for me, it's always kind of exactly what I expect, and I actually think it's a very well-run city. I know that sounds really stupid, but
no, I mean, when
I go to London and stuff, it feels like really hectic, and Paris is a little bit hectic, but it seems. Like underground all runs cool, you can get to every destination. I was just Google Maps in, boom, Eiffel Tower to the Louvre, whatever. Took 2 minutes, just quick down to the underground. You're there. You pay a tenner, you can get to anywhere on the city on any over or underground train all day for a tenner a day.
That's all
so
right.
if you're a tourist,
that's
easy
perfect.
as fuck.
Yeah.
I just think that it's pretty cool. Eiffel Tower's overrated though. It is just a big piece of scaffolding. When it sparkles at night, it looks cool. So if you're gonna go to Paris, wait for it to be.
You're gonna go to Paris, go at night.
Wait for it to be sparkly at night. But no, I think the big thing for me is in a couple of weeks I'm off to America.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna mention that when you talked about Menzingers.
Yeah, I might go.
You've got a chance.
Yeah, they're on when I'm in New York, but I don't know if I'll do it yet because I looked earlier actually, and to get from my hotel to where they are is either like an hour on public transport, which is a bit sus in New York, or a $60 Uber each way.
Sheesh.
So it cost a lot, but it would also be really cool to see an American pop punk band in America.
Yeah.
And the support act is someone really good. They're called like Microwave or something.
I remember you saying. Yeah, I remember you saying. Yeah,
but I have a few of their songs on my playlist. But whilst I am in America, I'm off to see the 1975, of course, at Madison Square Garden. I can't wait for that. Matty Healy, if you listen to this, get me through, get me backstage, let me say hello to the boys. I'm coming from Leeds to New York.
Are you going to take a big banner with you? You should. You genuinely should.
It seems a bit sad though, doesn't it?
No, because they shout out the band. That's the exact band that do read
What
fucking
banner am
banners.
I gonna take?
I came all the way from Leeds.
I'm not taking like a fucking WWE style sign.
Yeah, that's the. But
I
that's
might
how
just
you
wear
get,
my Leeds shirt and go up, and he'll know who Leeds United are.
maybe do that then.
I can't wear a Leeds shirt to see the 1975 in New York.
Stop coming up with shitty ideas then. I'd take a massive fucking piece of plywood. Right, I'm from Leeds on it and fucking
You
hold
think
it
I
up.
can get into the Madison Square Garden with a big piece of plywood written, I came from Leeds? How am I going to get said plywood in New York? You think I'm going to go to a hardware store in America?
You're in New York, just go down to the river. It's full of shit. I'm sure there'll be a piece of plywood in there.
And I'm actually off to Madison Square Garden again to see a legendary comedian in Bill Burr.
Bill Burr.
I love a little bit of stand-up, and I've seen a couple of the more English ones. I've seen Chris Rock last year, actually. He's American. But then Ricky Gervais I've seen, and
Fantastic.
some other British ones. But I think Bill Burr's probably my favourite stand-up comedian. So Madison Square Garden, legendary. It'll be amazing. Is he from New York?
I want to say somewhere. His voice is very, maybe like Seattle. Maybe somewhere in that region, I imagine. Or it could be somewhere completely different.
I want to look now. I never
go
know
on,
with
go on,
Americans.
try
I
and
never
find
know with
out.
Americans. What else am I doing? I'm off to San Francisco as well. So I'm off to Alcatraz and doing a nighttime tour of Alcatraz.
It's just after Alcatraz. He's fucked it. This isn't a holiday at all. Bro's not coming back.
Yeah, well, I wish.
Bro's getting fucking deported.
Bill Burr is from Massachusetts.
Oh, there you go.
Is that
Tennessee.
New York? You're the only 10 I see.
That was weird, bro.
Have you not seen? It's a Family Guy reference.
I'm fucking well aware, yeah.
Oh,
All right.
don't worry, lad. Anyway, I'm off to Alcatraz. I'm really excited for that because I remember the COD Black Ops 1 or 2
Zombie
DLC map.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be there.
I've seen a TikTok of somebody that takes their boyfriend there and they're walking around and he keeps going, "This is where I trained all the
Yeah,
zombies."
mate.
And he's like, "And if you go around here, the Pack-a-Punch is around there." And he's like, "You can get Juggernog up there."
I remember in the first lockdown, I'd never played that map before up till like 2020, whenever the first lockdown was 2021. And I played it so much. I just sat in the front room here, couple beers, playing that map. So it'll be a little throwback going to San Francisco. I think I'm off to a 49ers match as well, an American football match.
Nice,
I'll do some other
nice.
shit. I
Yeah.
might Kasabian are playing in New York when I'm there as well. I don't want to book too much though. I don't want to tire myself out. But then I know if I'm there and I'm bored on an evening, I'll probably end up spending more going to a bar or something than I would just going to do something. So
definitely.
I need to get some more stuff booked. But I'll update the pod when I'm back. But I'm sure we'll do another.
Well, I've got, in things coming up is going to see Off Menu live. So guy on a
Ooh.
podcast going to go watch a podcast live. That'll be fucking sick. Excited
Ultimate.
for that. Off to Walton Towers soon. Pretty cool. I haven't really got anything amazing that's going on, to be honest with you. It's nothing like going to America.
Nothing.
Planning to go on holiday sometime next year.
Wow.
Whoa!
He's thinking about a holiday.
God damn, big things. That's how I'm doing it now.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't have what else interesting coming up. Yeah.
Not a
I'm,
holiday.
I'm tired after the summer,
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm always ready to chill, but I never chill.
There's always a supposed lull around Christmas. But if anything, I've got more gigs and events booked in for the next 2 months than I have for the past 4 months.
Yeah.
Like I've got 1 week in December where I've got 3 gigs in a week,
I don't have
which
that
is
much in
your level of shit. And I'm like, why am I doing that now?
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
What am I doing next
But
week?
I've got into the routine of just buying tickets when I see him. Because I didn't used to do that because he used to and ah, and then he used to be like, can I afford to spend that money? And now I'm just like, fuck it. I probably can't afford
I feel
to
like a
spend
proud
it.
father.
Yeah, yeah.
You used to
going
laugh
down
at me
that
for
route.
doing that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, fuck it. We do the 2-ticket system.
You got to do it.
You've got to do it, yeah.
You've got to do it.
So Tenacious D went on, got Tenacious D tickets straight up. They were a bit pricey, but you know how it is. You got to get it done.
Jack Black, come on the pod. We love you.
The thing is, though, Jack Black is the kind of person of that level of celebrity, of all the celebrities that are Jack Black's level, he'd be the one that
Do you
would
know
come
what
on.
I think with like trying to get people on the pod? I think if we could ask them, like show
Directly.
them a couple of clips from some episodes and ask them, they'd say yeah, but we're never going to be able to actually ask them.
No, it's always
Maybe we just need to
managers.
go like camp outside Leeds Arena or something and be like, Jack, please come on the pod.
Jack, like Titanic.
I don't know about that.
Oh, with
You need
Titanic,
to chill out, bro.
All right, yeah, Mr. Ten I see. All right, yeah.
No, it's about Tennessee.
I know it is, and Tenerife, and somebody calls somebody an 11 reefer. I went to Tenerife this year. I went to 11 reefer. It's the guy that's always trying to one up you. It's a good name for those kind of people. 11 Reefer. There you go. It's a little term for you.
Anyway, I think we should call it here because Tim's losing his mind. But
Tim's chatting shit again.
No. But we've been gone for a little while. We're back. What have we got coming up? We're going to do some predictions for some upcoming festivals.
We are.
Obviously, we said earlier it looks like Blink are going to be the Reading and Leeds headliner next year.
I reckon
100%.
Saturday on one of the days.
Yeah, I reckon they might even announce it before we get a lineup prediction out. But I think we should predict that. Maybe try predict like Glastonbury headliners, maybe a couple of others around Europe or something. I don't even know what else. Halloween episode. We're going to do a Halloween special.
Yeah,
I will keep my top on, don't worry.
Some spooky shit.
Yeah.
We'll try and come with some, whether it be true crime, whether it be spooky stories, whether it be...
Yeah, I think maybe true crime.
Yeah.
Because it's spooky story
Proper
is kind of...
gory true crime, though. Something true crimey. You know, something crimey.
Like the viaduct toilets.
That's grimy.
That's such a specific reference as well.
Yeah.
If there's any LGBTQ Yorkshire people here,
yeah. I imagine there might be.
I feel personally targeted. Anyway, I don't know why I said anyway in an accent as well. Let's call it. I'm fucking losing my shit.
Call it, man.
Thanks for watching. Good night.
Bye-bye.